Are battery swap stations coming to the US? Well, we all know that NIO has plans to also entering the US, so for sure NIO will bring battery swapping to the Americas. But the way they are doing that, we don't know how that's gonna play out. Will they do it on their own? And also today I made a video about that NIO is actually opening a plant for battery swap stations manufacturing as well as charging piles. So this might be a move that they could copy actually also to the US. And today we've got some interesting news here, which I reshared about California Energy Commission said two exciting things this morning. First of all, Q1 saw 16% EV sales growth in California. That's huge. The Sun State is of course at the leading front of adopting electric vehicles. And second, California is studying battery swapping as a key technology for addressing shortcomings of current EV charging tech and business models. So this is a quite interesting thing here, because I would say the general remarks are, well, we don't really know if battery swapping could become a thing in the US. Of course, it's coming from China, and in China we all have those high-rise buildings and compounds. That is a very different situation than in the US. And so I would say battery swapping will play a different role in the US. And there will be many skeptics saying that, well, we don't have a need for that in the US, and also we don't really want a Chinese company there. So here's interesting, who is that saying it? And it is a guy who is working for Ample Inc., and that is, well, also a battery swapping company. And of course, they have different roads than NIO. They have their own technology. And this might be a hint of where things could go. Actually, what I think would be a smart move by NIO is if they would either buy an American company or seek some sort of a joint venture, and also try to find some synergies, and also doing in a way that is politically safe, if that's even possible. So for example, we are seeing CATL, the battery manufacturer, starting to opening a plant in the US, because they also want to join this movement of manufactured in the USA, bringing back home jobs to the US, and all of these national policies that we are seeing in America. They are kind of joining this movement. And by the way, CATL also has a battery plant in the EU, in Germany actually. And so this localizing of production, I think, is some sort of a movement there. And I would say if NIO is smart about this, they would actually join this movement and not try and bring everything from China into the US, into Europe. And as I posted this morning already, for the EU, we already see this move. So let's see what could be their target and aim and approach for the US, maybe partnering up with a company like this, although the technology may not be compatible. But similarly, it is very interesting that there is maybe some need in terms of charging infrastructure. There has been a meeting also with Biden, and I think some of the CEOs of car companies discussing the matter, like how should the US actually build out their infrastructure. And we all know that battery swapping could play a role also in balancing the grid. And this may also be a national security issue, of course, in some ways, but the technology and its potential is there. So it's a question of how making use of that, and a way of unlocking it in the case of NIO. And what NIO is always doing is, I think they have a very long-term approach, and also they are not coming new to the market. So for example, in Europe, they have been doing lobbying and partnering and talking with lots of industry players since a very, very long time. Also in California, they have an office and since years, right? So the connections are there. There are Americans working for NIO there. And so I think they might be able, hopefully, to identify a way of doing this. And in case that California is actually going down that road, I would say that this could actually be also kind of a influencing moment in terms of that. Of course, California plays a big role in EV adoption, and then this could also have some spillover effects to other states. And maybe we'll see different use cases for battery swapping in the US than compared to Europe and China. So maybe not replacing, of course not replacing home charging. That was never the goal, but there might be much more home charging in the US in comparison to China. And then you may use battery swapping more for those grid applications, as well as for, let's say, long trips and bridging some use cases there, like for example longer distance traveling, and also maybe something in the area where for example for robo-taxis or everywhere where time is an issue, be quick on the road again. That's what battery swapping can enable. So here are some thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to be subscribed and like and share this video, and then see you in the next one.